Good morning, everybody. We'll call to order our August 16th, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Senator Sheldon, if you wouldn't mind leading us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 3, roll call. If the clerk would please take roll.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here.
Very good, thank you. Moving on to item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Item 4.1, if the clerk would please report the correspondence.
The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in the following: notice of liquor license approval for Lakeland Village Golf Course, cannabis license application for the Raucous Group LLC, notice of temporary discontinued business for Luna Northwest, an urgent notice of special occasion liquor license for the Great Bend Center for Music. Stephen Bass and Caleb Cowell sent in an application for the Mason County Historic Preservation Advisory Board, and Jennifer Kapp sent in a letter regarding Mason General Hospital's name change.
Very good, thank you. Item 4.2, we have a proclamation in recognition of Senator Tim Sheldon's years of service to Mason County. Ask Commissioner Trask to please read.
Right. Whereas Tim Sheldon provided extensive leadership to Mason County and the state of Washington by serving in the Washington State Legislature for 31 years, serving in the Senate for 25 of those years. Whereas Tim also served as a commissioner for the Port of Hoodsport, Public Utility District Number 1, and Mason County. Whereas Tim served the 35th Legislative District well and with determination, political finesse, and hard work, Tim made sure the rural communities were recognized. Whereas Tim is an excellent public speaker and is well known for making his point by using colorful phrases such as the belt and suspenders approach, we're eating our seed corn, and don't get over your skis. Whereas Tim will continue to make significant positive contributions to Mason County, and now therefore, in recognition of Tim's public service and positive impact to Mason County, we hereby proclaim August 16th, 2022 as Senator Tim Sheldon Day in Mason County. Signed this 16th day of August 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner Trask. Maybe we'll open this up for the commissioners to make a couple of comments, and then Senator, if you have a few words that you'd like to maybe share with us as well. I'll just say thank you for all the years of service. It was a pleasure to work with you down in Olympia when I was staff at the legislature, and then you were very gracious to me as I considered running for this seat in 2016 as you retired from the county. And I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for a conversation that you and I had up at the tree farm, sitting on some old stumps overlooking the canal, talking about the county and your work here and your deep affection for our part of the county, but the county as a whole in rural Washington, really. And so I knew one of the funny things when I was running in 2016, a lot of people said, "Oh, he's just running to be another Tim Sheldon," and I don't think they meant that as a compliment necessarily. But the simple fact of the matter is, there is only one Tim Sheldon. There will ever only be one Tim Sheldon, and we're much better because of your years of dedicated public service. So thank you. Commissioners?
You know, I actually ran against you one time, many, many years ago, but I also signed the document to allow you to run, if you remember. And then you went around and publicized that as quick as you possibly could. It was a good thing, though. That's how politics work. But one of my favorite parts was we were in a function in Duwato area, and they sat there and they said, you know, Randy, we love you, but you're running against Tim Sheldon. And we loved Tim. That was a pretty interesting and pretty fun time we actually had during that time. We actually got along great during the campaigns. We didn't have any issues at all between us. Some of the ones on the outside did, if you remember. We had a couple colorful ones happening there. I want to say my personal favorite, I'm just going to say his most well-known one his most well-known statement had to do with an enema that he had put out there that was all over the news. That one was the best one he ever did, in my opinion. I want to point out that people don't see it from out in the audience, but there's a wall that we face that has about 100 commissioners on the wall. And 150 years goes by, and some of these commissioners have served some different terms. There's only three, I believe, that's ever served 3 terms in a row. And finishing out, and you're one of those up on that wall that's done that in 150 years. And, you know, there are people that have called me through this process, they don't like this, they don't like, but you know what? You were always elected because they thought and felt you did them right. And that is the greatest honor that you could have, is to feel and to know that you did them right, regardless of what one person or 10 people might say. I deal with the same thing all the time. I served with you, and I remember we had some great battles, but at the same time, I remember 2 weeks later, after one of our bigger battles, I was down in Olympia, and Tim invited me in and took me down to lunch in the Senate's lunchroom, because that's how things are done. No matter how good a battle is for the moment, you still sit down and you work together and you make it happen. So I want to thank you also for a lot of education that you gave me over those years. And I say that because some of that education I received after you left. And I remember, Tim, you saying this and this. And I'm like, damn, he said it. He told me. But it took me a couple of years to get it later on. Thank you for that education. You did me well. You did our community well. And you deserve this.
So I think I met you first on the floor of the legislative building. And they said, this is a great guy. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Look at those eyes. And you truly are one of my favorite people. Your guidance, your mentorship means so much to me. Your staff, and great staff, that shows that you're a great man. If you choose the right people, you become the best leader, and you really have. What you've done for Mason County, you put Mason County on the map. When people, because I'm on some state boards and state committees, and people love you. They know you, and they know that you love Mason County. And so I want to thank you for your guidance, your leadership, and for being such an important part of Mason County. Looking at your picture, the only thing that's changed is your hair. But love you tons.
Senator, if you wanted to maybe share a couple of words about your years of service, you can
Sure,
feel free
thank
to.
you.
You can do it from wherever you want.
Oh, I can stand up here like old times. Well, thank you very much for the recognition. It really is a pleasure to be back here. You know, I harken back a ways, and I had the good fortune to be born here in Sheldon. And you know, our family's been in the timber industry for a long, long time, and we're staying right here. So I had a chance to go up to the Little Wob Community Club the other day, and of course the Secretary of State had recognized the Hama Hama Company for 100 years of continuous incorporation up there. So we're a little ways behind them, but maybe we can catch up someday in Potlatch. But Randy, you remind me of something. The first time I ran for county commissioner, I was in the state senate, and I had left the Economic Development Council, and in those days we were just transforming into the top 2 primary. So there still was a partisan primary, and I didn't want to run as a Republican or a Democrat. I wanted to run as an independent. And as you look at all these pictures up here, nobody had ever run as an independent. Well, the rules stated, the Secretary of State, that I had to have a convention and have 100 signatures for my candidacy to move forward. Well, I thought, well, could I rent some hall someplace, or could I call up some people? How could I get more than 100 people at a convention? And so we decided with my son-in-law, Danny Berner, who has a law office here now in Sheldon. He was our chair of our committee, and my daughter and my wife, and a couple other people. We went to the Belfair Safeway parking lot with a document that if you signed, you had attended the convention it's Saturday morning in that on the parking lot, and we had 246 signatures, and Randy was good enough to sign as well. So anyway, so that put me on the general election ballot, but I still wasn't on the primary ballot. So when the primary came out, people didn't know I was running. They didn't know until the ballots came out, and the first count I was 98 votes behind. And of Constance Ibsen was the apparent winner. So I called her that night, said, well, congratulations, Constance, you'll enjoy the job, and this and that. And then the next day, the vote changed, and I was elected. But I served those 12 years at the same time I was in the Senate. I don't know anybody that's ever had that opportunity to do it, because I was close enough to go, and Diane and all the staff were so helpful, going back and forth to Olympia, trying to set the schedule so I could do both jobs. And the Democrats tried to recall me, had a recall petition one time, and all kinds of things. But it really gave me an opportunity. For 7 years that I was in the Senate, I was the deciding vote. But it gave me an opportunity, and at times I was in the Democratic caucus, and sometimes I was in the Republican caucus. But it gave me a chance, when the door was closed, to just make the point that the state is continuing to just pass these requisites and work down their responsibility, be it criminal justice or the health department, pass it down to the county and make them do it. Of course, they never send any money to do it, or not enough. So it really was a great opportunity to try to educate the legislature about county government, because even now there are very few legislators that have served in the county as a local official. So I know that, Sharon, you mentioned the associations. Associations are really valuable to you in trying to educate the legislature and the governor about all the things that you take care of. But Randy, you mentioned the sayings, and in the proclamation you had one. But I think the saying that you remember is that I was in the Senate, and there was we were talking about gun control or something, and I said that there's always an open season on criminals in Mason County, and there's never a bag limit. Well, Sheriff Salisbury did not think that was a very good thing to say, but anyway, it was on the news, and then the follow-up was, if you come to Mason County, you can get a Mason County lead enema.
Yeah.
But anyway, the young lady that answered the phones for us out in front, and I always insisted that you have someone answer the phone, which you do. And so we could tell it to go to the treasurer or the assessor or whatever. So a fellow called up and wanted to know about the saying that Sheldon had about open season on criminals, and he wanted to know if he should bring his criminal in before he got there, or should he get is there any license to get later on or anything? And she said, no, just go ahead and bring them in. That's just fine. So anyway, we had a lot of fun here, and it's great to see the old friends and people that I've worked with for many years. Last thing, I wrote this down real quick, and I think probably you'll have to fill it in to remember, but I think it was 2006, right after I got elected, we had a big winter storm. We lost the Tahuya River Bridge. That was a big deal. Same storm. Finch Creek Bridge in Hoodsport, demolished. Hunter Creek Bridge in Skoke Valley was so damaged it had to turn to one lane. There was one in Grapeview, and I think there was one other. I think we lost 5 bridges in that storm. And then the next year, the recession hit, and I think we went from 400 employees down to 300 employees. So it was tough times then. And of course, that can all turn around and happen again. But still, I always tell people, there's only, you've heard me say this before, there's only 5 counties in the state with 1 incorporated city. And we're one of those cities. So the adjacent counties aren't one of those counties, but the adjacent counties like Lewis have 9 incorporated cities. Grace Harbor has 9 incorporated cities. All kinds of incorporated cities in Pierce and Thurston counties. So we didn't have those sewer systems or the bridges, all the things that the larger counties and more populated counties have. So, but it makes it rural, and that makes it fun too. It makes people appreciate the rural lifestyle that we have in Mason County. So anyway, thank you for the proclamation and the recognition. It's great to reminisce and see old friends again. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Senator.
Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then in a little bit, we're going to be taking action on naming our public works facility in Senator Sheldon's honor. And it was a project that he played a large role in, and so we'll be doing that here shortly this morning too. With that, let's move on to item 4.3. We have a news release on Parks and Trails Advisory Board openings. And I guess I can scroll down here and read that. The Board of Mason County Commissioners is seeking applications from community members who are interested in serving on the Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board. The Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board provides recommendations to the Board of Commissioners regarding the planning, acquisition, and development of parks, trails, and related programs in Mason County. The Parks and Trails Advisory Board is a 7-member board appointed by the Mason County Commissioners. Ideally, there would be 2 positions from each commissioner district and 1 at-large position. If the vacancies cannot be filled with members from the respective districts as desired, at-large members residing anywhere in Mason County can be substituted. The intent is to provide equal geographic representation from throughout Mason County if possible. If you are interested in parks, trails, or other outdoor recreational opportunities and would like to make a difference in your community, you are encouraged to apply. The Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board typically meets the 4th Thursday of each month at 5:15 p.m. in Shelton. Interested citizens may obtain an application at the Mason County Commissioner's Office, 411 North 5th Street, Shelton, or by calling Shelton 360-427-9670, extension 419, or from Belfair 360-275-4467, extension 419, or visiting the Mason County website. Applications will be accepted until positions are filled. With that, we'll move on to item number 5, open forum for citizen input. It's an opportunity for members of the public to address the commission on items that are not on today's action agenda. If you have comments, please raise your hand. The chair will recognize you and come forward to the podium. Are there any members of the public in the room that would like to make comment? Jim? Yep, come forward.
Well, thank you very much. My concerns that I'm addressing here is about Oak Park. Recently, the county repaved our main road, Oak Park Way. Marvelous job. Very surprising the skills that they displayed in getting that road done. Before they left, they also provided a shoulder of packed gravel, roughly 3 to 4 feet wide, the full length of the road, and which many of the residents who are daily walkers have appreciated being able to walk on flat ground, no serious rocks, limbs, or potholes. And what we have observed is that there are horse riders coming in from other communities who are riding across using the gravel. It's county right of way. And some of the shoulder is breaking down as they ride across. It's also even small holes, which will eventually develop into bigger ones. So our question for this is this shoulder actually designed for the idea to give us a comfortable place to walk on, or is it some other purpose and we're just should not be discussing something about horses riding on there? So if there's something in the future in the plans for that, we don't know. But anyway, that's my first item that I've presented to the county. Second item concerning the roads, and we've discussed this before with Commissioner Shetty. Speeders continue to, now that it's got a new road, it's like a freeway. They're zipping down the road even faster. And Commissioner Shetty and the county have put up park warning signs as at the approaches to both of our parks. And it doesn't seem to be helping at all. So I'm asking for the perhaps having put in or cutting the grooves in the road that then when the cars drive over it, it makes its tire sound, and maybe that'll alert them to the idea along with the signs that they should slow down. I've seen the grooves have been cut in the road on McCurry Prairie Road just before coming to the stop sign at Brockdale. So it's something that has been done before. Hopefully you can consider that. It's something that won't affect the fire department or the aid cars or the police or our county sheriff's department. So please consider it. And that leaves me, let's see, the next item. While the crews were working hard and they had to hold up traffic several times, and folks discovered that there was no other way out of Oak Park. So on our Facebook group, there's been some questions like, well, what would happen if there was a fire? And most fires would spread west to east. At least that's my opinion based on the way the wind seems to blow most commonly. And we only have one way out, and that's on the west side of Oak Parkway intersection to Rockdale. So I looked it over and discussed it with a few people, and I was told that once upon a time, many years ago, there was a dirt road that went from Sycamore Place to McEwen Prairie Road. It was just dirt. It was probably a Simpson Road. And Simpson had more or less blocked it off with mounds of dirt and cut a ditch, or the county cut the ditch along the road at that point. And we are wondering if perhaps through the county and Green Diamond now could possibly cut that road to make it just a dirt road, put up the gates or chains, whatever it is, and give Oak Park a key for in case there was an emergency and people had to go out the back door. We could get out there and open that gate, or put in a paved road someday. But that was the third item on my list, and the fourth item is asking for you folks to consider having the no compression braking signs put up at the approaches to the Oak Park community on Brockdale and McEwen Prairie Road. At times, I'm not sure why it is, more trucks seem to be traveling down the road. You cannot hide from that sound of the Jake brake. Anyway, thank you for hearing me out, and I appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Jim. We'll make sure that we get this on the agenda for Public Works. We'll talk about these items. Yeah, thank you. Any other members of the public in the room for comment on item 5? Okay, seeing none. Any members of the public on Zoom, if you'd like to make comment, you can raise your hand or unmute yourself. Say your name. Okay, seeing no public comment on Zoom, we'll move on to item number 6, which is adoption of today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move for adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt today's agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And motion carries. Item number 7, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes of July 11th, 2022 and July 18th, 2022 briefing minutes and July 19th, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the July 11th and July 18th, 2022 briefing minutes and July 19th, 2022 regular minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, this is approval of our action agenda. Commissioners will read through the items on today's action agenda, at which point a commissioner or member of the public may ask to have an item removed for a separate discussion and vote. I'll take items 8.1 through 6. Commissioner Netherland, if you would please take 8.7 through 8.12, and Commissioner Trask, if you take 8.13 through 8.17. Item 8.1, approval of warrants and treasurer electronic remittances, claims clearing fund warrant numbers 8089705 through 8089911 in the amount of $921,525.62. Direct deposit fund warrant numbers 89248 through 89643 in the amount of $773,954.49. Salary Clearing Fund warrant numbers 7006812 through 7006851 in the amount of $1,030,581.14. Item 8.2, approval to upgrade the security system in all county buildings using Dan's Locksmith Company to supply and install panic devices and panel for $28,641.60. Item 8.3, approval to award the contract for architectural and engineering professional services to Helix Design Group. Item 8.4, approval of the resolution placing an honorary facility naming sign at the Public Works Facility, Senator Tim Sheldon Public Works Facility. And item 8.5, approval of the resolution amending the Commissioner's operating guidelines and the ordinance amending Mason County Code, Chapter 2.88, meetings of the Board of County Commissioners. And item 8.6, approval to appoint Dell Elmland to the Mason County Housing Authority Board of Commissioners for a 5-year term expiring August 16th, 2027.
Mr. Chairman, item number 8.7 reads approval to hire a noxious weed control board coordinator in the fall of 2022 and increase the position from 0.75 FTE to 1.0 FTE. Item number 8.8, approval to authorize the Sheriff's Office expenditure of up to $65,000 from the restricted reserve funds from Boating Fund number 141 for the purchase of a patrol vessel from the Lakewood Police Department. Item number 8.9, approval of an interagency agreement number IAA 23893 between the Washington State Administrative Office of the Courts and Mason County Superior Court for reimbursement of up to $29,558 for attorney and court visitor appointment costs. Item number 8.10, approval of interagency agreement number IAA 23961 between the Washington State Administrative Office of the Courts, AOC, and Mason County Superior Court for the grant of up to $50,000 for audio, video equipment and to use trial improvement funds to pay the remaining balance of $18,488.50 of the JAS proposal. Item number 8.11, approval to increase the coroner's office budget by $61,000 for pathology services and $15,000 for on-call extra help to lift assist, transport, and scene assistance for 2022. Item number 8.12, approval to contract with Evergreen State Roofing not to exceed the amount of $97,675.20 to replace the roofs on county buildings 6, 7, and 8, and the church house building.
Item 8.13, approval of the request for proposals for Mason County Real Estate Professional Services. Item 8.14, approval of the contract with Permitium to streamline applications for both birth and death certificates. Item 8.15, approval of the private line occupancy permit granting permission for the existing sewer transport and cable line under Tahuya Blacksmith Road to serve parcel number 22304-77-90131. Item 8.16, approval of the resolution for the Mason County Reserve and Contingency Policy to amend resolution number 2021-034. Item 8.17, approval for the chair to sign the special occasion liquor license for Great Bend Music Center's event on August 27th, 2022 from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Hood Canal Salmon Center.
Very good, thank you, Commissioners. Having read through the items on today's action agenda, are there any items that you'd like to have removed for a separate discussion or vote? Okay, hearing none at the commission level, are there any members of the public in the room that would like to have an item removed for a separate discussion and vote? Okay. Any members of the public on Zoom, are there items that you would like to have removed for a separate discussion and vote? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion on today's action agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the action agenda as presented. Any discussion?
Just real quick, I want to thank Dale for coming in and being appointed to some of the a committee, and I'm hoping that you look at other committees as well. And also, I'm pretty excited to see that Mason County is moving forward and recognizing people. It's neat to be able to recognize you as the first person to have a building named after. So I think that's very cool. Thank you, Tim.
One little comment that I would say is, again, Dale, thank you for stepping up. It's the citizens stepping up and taking the time to do it. That's what makes all this stuff work. I also serve as an ex officio on that, and I look forward to seeing you there. And I know your heart is huge, and you're going to work hard to help these people the best that you can, while at the same time, you're very level-headed and make sure no expenditures happen that shouldn't be happening, and I appreciate that always. And again, thank you to everybody for stepping up to do what they do. Also wanted to make a comment, it's funny, we have somebody that's retiring from the Noxious Weed Board, and you've known her for years too. She's done an incredible job. I almost feel guilty now that she's leaving. We're bringing this up to a full-time, because she's been full-time forever. Matter of fact, I'd say she's time and a half, wouldn't you, Tim? You worked with her for all those years too. We thought we lost her several times, but she keeps coming back and taking it over to fix it. It doesn't seem like a glorious position, but it's extremely needed, and I'm just glad that we're doing this. Maybe she'll come back and take it again.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Commissioners. If there's no other discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to item number 9, other business. Are there any department heads or elected officials in the room that would like to address the commission? Okay, seeing none. Are there any department heads or elected officials on Zoom that would like to address the commission? If so, raise your hand or unmute yourself. Okay, very good. Moving on to item 10, we have no public hearing set for today, so we'll go to item 11, our board calendar reports. Commissioner Nellen, if you'd kick us off, Commissioner
Sure.
Trask, and then I'll finish up.
Left board meeting, I met with Eagle Scout to help them with his proposal to move some things forward. Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, our cemetery board meeting. We have our regular briefings, Mason Transit Policy Board or Group, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority, and the financial on that. Actually had the chance to finally, after all these years, I went on Lady Alderbrook, and it was wonderful. I've got to tell you, it's beautiful. There was a guest speaker there that had a lot more history, which made things much more enjoyable, and we got to share some of the other inside history that we would only know from being here, though. So their tours will get even more expended out. I attended the sheriff's breakfast up in North Mason. Me and Commissioner Trask attended the North Mason Community Voice. I celebrated North Mason High School's 40-year reunion. It's always amazing when you look at people and you realize you've known them for 40, 45 years. I shouldn't be able to have 40, 45-year relationships. I don't see that in my own brain, but it's there. And we're thinking the next one time we do it will be 50 years. Don Cady passed away. You were friends with Don, and we celebrated his life and placed him in the ground this last weekend. And they were old friends for many, many years. I'm briefing. So then after this meeting, I'll be meeting with HR, with Mary from HR. Mason Transit Authority meeting this week. North Mason School District is having meetings regarding their balance schedule again. Meeting with a company looking into investing in Mason County. This is like their third time meeting, and I think we're getting closer to them looking to bring money here. And it's very much appreciated. The Mason County Housing Authority meeting, Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization meeting, briefings, North Mason Chamber of Commerce brings us back, and we do some of this all over again.
All right, great. So just wanted to let everybody know that we did attend the meeting at the North Mason Community Voice. It was great to see and have staff there to represent us, and also good to hear from DOT, so that was good. Attended Summerfest at Belfair. That was so much fun. They had well over 100 cars. Amazing cars. I love cars. So it was great. A lot of really good food and a lot of really good people, so that was fun. After this, I have the Homelessness Task Force with the city. I'm having lunch with a lovely lady at El Sarabe. Mason Transit Board meeting this afternoon. Turning Point Board meeting. Let's see, Thursday is also the EDC event at the Ridge Motorsports. Lunch with another very lovely lady. Saturday is the Puget Sound Patriots picnic. And then there's Hoodstock. County briefing, Wasatch Virtual Assembly, going out with some of the ladies from Turning Point Board. Shelton Summary Lunch Club. That's a group that we all get together. We visit different parks within Shelton and have lunch. So it's an amazing group of people. Community Action Council Board meeting. Area Agency on Aging, Public Works Board Executive Committee. There's the chamber meeting dinner at Mason Lake, sheriff's breakfast, WASAC LSC work group. This special group is called the Fiscal Governance. So it's pretty fun. Pearl Django in the barn at the Salmon Enhancement Center. Back for our briefings, WASAC Virtual Assembly, phone call with AAA, and then, let's see, I believe we have a commission meeting, and then we're back to having fun.
Great. Just one quick item from last week. I had an opportunity to head out to Spokane with the Thurston Mason BHASO CEO and administrator of Olympic Health and Recovery Services, and just had a really productive and informative tour of the Spokane Regional Crisis Stabilization Center. This is a voluntary center for folks who are have difficulties with substance use and behavioral health issues, and learned a lot about their funding model and the public-private partnership that exists there to get people into treatment, into detox, into other services to help them get to a better place in their life. And we had tremendous hosts out in Spokane, and it was really informative. So I have a lot to unpack from that trip with the BHASO as we look at the legislature. Actually did a great job at funding capital projects this past session and the past couple of sessions to build facilities that would do this kind of work. It's just a matter of figuring out the operations side and how we make that work with a private provider and get those reimbursement rates up is also a big issue with the managed care organizations. And so much more to talk about at our BHASO meeting with Thurston County about what a facility like that would look like in our region and how it could pencil. Going forward this week, have a meeting after this with Chief Beeson from Sheldon PD to talk about crisis and co-responder programs. Have the YMCA advisory board meeting, and then I have a meeting with Scott Brewer from the Hood Canal Coordinating Council. We'll be certifying the August 2nd primary election results, and then I have also a meeting with Mary, our new HR director, as well as Mason Transit. Going forward this week, meeting with park staff to talk about some feedback that we received on the Union park upgrades that are going through the state's Recreation and Conservation Office. We had John Taylor, who's our parks manager, did a presentation to the Hood Canal Improvement Club a couple of weeks ago, and we received a lot of really good feedback. And so just going to be going over that with him to see what is possible with our RCO grant application. And then have a meeting of the Hood Canal Coordinating Council. Have our monthly governance board meeting of the Thurston Mason BHASO, and also be at the EDC membership appreciation event as well. Next week briefings, and then I head out of town for a wedding. It's good to see weddings are back. So we're making up for lost time. Had a number of those this summer. So out of town for the remainder of next week, and then back for our commission meeting on August 30th. So, commissioners, any other information or? Yeah,
just a clarification. I also was at Summerfest, but we didn't see each other or speak, but I'll probably be at Hoodstock. So.
Okay. If there's no other business to come before us, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned. Have a good day, everybody.